لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Glad to be with you once again on the program as you answer the call. I am Rashida Abubakar, your regular host on the program. The feeding arrangement for programs in Mecca is solely the responsibility of State Pilgrims Welfare Boards, while NAHCON plays supervisory role to ensure compliance with contractual obligations. And so, our spotlight segment will look at how programs are being fed in Mecca and the type of food provided. Also coming up are other regular segments such as NAHCON News Diary, Making the Hajj, as well as greetings and goodwill messages from pilgrims. Stay with us.
I appeal to you to respect instructions of your pilgrim officials because they are your guides and have been instructed on the needfuls. I beseech you to recall that this Hajj is a peculiar one because of the pandemic. As such, I hasten to advise you to abide strictly by all health regulations while in the kingdom and even after you return. Safeguard your valuables and do not carry along any prohibited item into Saudi Arabia as a sign of honor to the host country.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The program kicks off with the News Diary. Top on the news is an update on the airlift of pilgrims from Saudi Arabia back to Nigeria.
The National HAJJ Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is set to complete the airlift of pilgrims back to Nigeria in a few days. So far, over 20,000 pilgrims out of the more than 30,000 from states, the FCT and armed forces have been airlifted back home in 48 flights involving Max Air, Azman and Fly NAS. NAHCON has completed the airlift of pilgrims from states such as Nasarawa, Oshun, Ogun, Benue, Ekiti, Yobe and FCT among others. Nigeria commenced the airlift of pilgrims back home on Friday the 15th of July 2022 on the basis of first in, first out. Meanwhile, the Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah says it will collaborate with NAHCON for effective pilgrims enlightenment. General Manager of Awareness and Media of the ministry, Mr. Turki Al-Khalaf, stated this when he hosted NAHCON media team in his office in Mecca. He said a system of information sharing on pilgrims' awareness will be created for the benefit of NAHCON and the ministry. In her remarks, head of the national media team, Hajiya Fatima Mustafa, welcomed the decision, saying NAHCON is ready to key into the Saudi thinking order to develop the kind of synergy that will provide pilgrims with better services. In the meantime, Director of the FCT Pilgrims Welfare Board, Muhammad Nasir Damalam, is full of praise for all stakeholders, particularly the ulama, the FCT board and staff who worked tirelessly for the success of the 2022 Hajj and FCT contingents in particular. Director stated this in an interview in Mecca before boarding the last flight to Abuja.
These malams are wonderful, are very wonderful. They go out of their way to make sure that they impart the knowledge that the pilgrims are supposed to get, and they lead them in every aspect of the rites that they are doing. In everything they do, they lead them. Apart from giving you the orientation and in the mosque here, and then whenever we are going out, they are in the lead. And on the spot, they teach you, this is what is required of you here, this is what is required of you. So,
Nasir Damalan said he is happy over the behavior of pilgrims from the FCT.
So I'm really overwhelmed by the conduct, the behavior of the pilgrims. They have done wonderfully well. Any untoward behavior, definitely some little distance, but they are not serious issues. They are the things that come up daily, out of rumor mongering, and then once the information is clear, and then you will see that everybody is calm again. So, but on a general note, the conduct of our pilgrims has been very wonderful.
He also thanked the FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello and Minister of State HAJJ Ramatu Tijani for their support to the FCT Pilgrims Board. In a related development, the Executive Secretary of Niger State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Umrah, has called on the state pilgrims to remain focused in their prayers and also keep up with the good conduct they have shown since their arrival into Saudi Arabia. Umar stated this while addressing the pilgrims in Mecca during the distribution of 32 kilograms check-in bags. He explained more after the speech.
We have also requested the pilgrims to, as a matter of policy, accept patients until such a time that NAHCON invite us to get our pilgrims ready for the weighing of 32 kg bags and for our movement to Medina en route Jeddah to Nigeria. These are some of the issues discussed. We have equally informed the pilgrims that the bags will be distributed to them in no distant time and that they should go and put their luggage inside, and we are going to do pre-weighing screening whereby every pilgrim will have only 32 kg.
I appeal to you to respect instructions of your pilgrim officials because they are your guides and have been instructed on the needfuls. I beseech you to recall that this Hajj is a peculiar one because of the pandemic. As such, I hasten to advise you to abide strictly by all health regulations while in the kingdom and even after you return. Safeguard your valuables and do not carry along any prohibited item into Saudi Arabia as a sign of honor to the host country.
Alhamdulillah, you are still watching as you answer the call, a public enlightenment presentation that keeps you abreast of the activities of the National HAJJ Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, and other HAJJ-related matters. In line with NAHCON policies, states are in charge of pilgrims feeding in Mecca, while NAHCON takes care of the arrangements in Medina. How are states going about the discharge of this responsibility? For answers to these and other questions, stay tuned for the next segment, Spotlight. Don't go away.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك.
This is one of the kitchens contracted by state pilgrims welfare boards to provide food for Nigerian pilgrims in Makkatul Mukarramah. States are responsible for the feeding of their pilgrims in Mecca under the supervision of NAHCON. NAHCON Feeding Committee in Mecca supervises the feeding arrangements in line with the following guidelines: to ensure compliance with contract agreements, to ensure timely delivery of food to pilgrims, to guarantee the quality and quantity of meals being served to pilgrims, to watch over the hygienic condition of the kitchens, as well as identify challenges and solve them. As part of the contract agreements, service providers are expected to provide food to the taste of Nigerian pilgrims. Such food include tuwo, eba, rice and beans, and more. Similarly, pilgrims are to be provided with bottled water, juice and fruits. This is to ensure that the diet is balanced.
Our pilgrims were given the best food that the human being will desire to eat. Every time, the complete balanced diet, the complete food that has all the ingredients that is required for human being to eat is given to them here in Saudi Arabia. And they were fed with the local food they know. We have the local tuwo, miyan kuka, miyan kubewa, miyan taushe. They have their rice, they have all the things, they have it.
The feeding also, they come in time. It's a very nice food and it goes round, it is enough for everybody. So everyone is happy with the way things are being done by the state, by the service providers of accommodation and the feeding.
The service provider we engage for giving us feeding is also trying as much as possible to make adequate provision of the food to our intimate pilgrims. We encounter some minor problems from the start, but as time goes on, we were able to overcome them. Even at Mana, we experienced late serving of food during our stay in Mina. in the initial stage, but as time goes on, so we were able to overcome such challenges.
Provisions have also been made for pilgrims placed on specific diet on account of their health condition.
We get food for special patients that are on special diet. So they normally prepare food for them, like for 10 people, because there are not many in number.
For every meal, they come with a special diet. At times with beans, or what we call acha. They used to have mix it. So for the vegetarians, we have it in the menu. For every meal they're supplying to us, they provide food, vegetarian food, or for the diabetic patient, or those on specialists, at least 100 plates in every meal they supply. In the event the number does not get to that, those of us that are still sound, we make a do with it, inshallah.
Also, officials from NAHCON and states go around the kitchens to inspect and see firsthand the process of making the meals and ensure compliance with contract obligations.
Muna kula da abinda mutanenmu suke so, abinda za su iya ci. Misali za ka ga waɗansu kamfanin da aka ba su aikin abinci, za su ka abinci mai kyau, mai lafiya, komin shi yayi. Amma kuma mutanenmu ɗanɗanin shi da yanda yake akwai difference da wanda abinda ɗan Najeriya yake so. To mu sai muka kula da wannan, sai muke amfani yawanci abinda za mu dafa mutanenmu ya zama abinda suke so ne, abinda suka saba da shi, abinda za su ci. Misali ina maka kaman tuwo da miya, in ma za a yi shinkafa za a zama in ka gani same yanda ake yi ta Najeriya ita muke. Muna amfani da yawanci 'yan Najeriya wanda suke dafa mana abinci.
Abinci iya son tsafta gaskiya. Abinda za ka ba wa mutum dole ka samu kai tsafta a shi, masu aikin ka sama tsafta, abincin da za ka kawo mai kyau ne, shinkafa mai kyau. Kuma nan ta san hukumar Khadim al-Haramain a Saudiya a wajen wannan ba su da wasa. Suna da wani taki, duk wanda aka zo aka samu gurin shi bai da kyau, bai da tsafta, ana karbewa, ana rufe mai, kuma ana mai tarayya. Don haka duk wani gurin za ka same shi, in Allah ya yarda za ka same shi da kyau.
Timely delivery of the food is key to the success of the feeding plans. Delivery vans are loaded with food for onward delivery to pilgrims in their apartments. Shortly on arrival, the meals are shared by those entrusted with the responsibility of doing so. The pilgrims share their experiences about the feeding arrangements.
Ana yi mana tuwon shinkafa, ana yi mana shinkafa da miya, ana yi mana harishi da kwai, sannan kuma ana ba mu buredi da su apple da su lemu da su ayaba, kuma duk ana haɗa mana.
Ana ba mu abinci mai kyau, ana ba mu abin sha mai kyau, ana kula da mu sosai. Alhamdulillah ba abin da za mu ce sai dai mu ce mu gode wa Allah.
In addition, NAHCON also makes it a policy for the kitchens to engage Nigerian residents in Saudi Arabia to be part of their ad hoc cooks. Interestingly, the caterers are adhering to the policy. Some of them interviewed have this to say.
All of us, we are benefiting from each other. We benefit from the kitchen, and even the kitchen benefit from the Nigerians. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Mai girki ne ni, ba abin da ba na yi, alhamdulillah. Kuma wannan kamfani mun daɗe a cikinsa muna aiki, mun gode Allah, alhamdulillah. Na'ima Idris da Amal Mawasi, alhamdulillah. Wannan kamfani mai albarka, da mun samu 'yan shekaru muna aiki tare da su, kuma alhamdulillah aikinsa yana tafiya daidai da ya kamata.
To duk inda aka je mu a nan za a neme mu a ce muna da 'yan Najeriya za su zo su yi aiki don domin su ma su amfana. Ba abin da za mu ce dai mu gode shugabanninmu don sun nuna mana kishi, suna yin mu, suna ƙaunar mu, akwai ma'aikata da yawa.
To improve on this in subsequent Hajj exercises, plans are being perfected by the Saudi authorities to train Nigerian cooks and to also get more foodstuff from Nigeria.
I appeal to you to respect instructions of your pilgrim officials because they are your guides and have been instructed on the needfuls. I beseech you to recall that this Hajj is a peculiar one because of the pandemic. As such, I hasten to advise you to abide strictly by all health regulations while in the kingdom and even after you return. Safeguard your valuables and do not carry along any prohibited item into Saudi Arabia as a sign of honor to the host country.
MashaAllah, the program is As You Answer the Call. Coming up next is Making the Hajj. Tonight, Chief Imam of Imo State Sheikh Suleiman Yusuf Njoku takes us through a discussion on how pilgrims should conduct themselves after the Hajj. Let's hear him.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم.
When pilgrims return home after performing the Hajj, they are expected to shape their behaviors with the transformative qualities of Hajj.
You have to treat people the way the Prophet ﷺ treated people during his time.
On Making the Hajj tonight, Chief Imam of Imo State, Sheikh Suleiman Yusuf Njoku, takes us through discussions on how pilgrims transform and live up to the morals developed during the Hajj.
Ayat of the glorious Quran made us to understand. He will say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. After amanu, that is to believe, wa amilu salihat, then you have to accompany it with good deeds. And good deeds comprises everything about human behaviors. Islam is a comprehensive way of life. Islam is a religion of Allah, and by His mercy, He guides those by His will. We are being considered as newly born babies because we believe that inshallah our Hajj is accepted. When you remember Allah, فَأَذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرُكُمْ وَاشْكُرُوا لِي وَلَا تَكْفُرُونَ. When you always remember Allah, فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. What are those things that whenever you are doing them, do you ask yourself, what is the position of what I'm going to do now in Islam?
Being just and to also love and live in peace with one's neighbors must reflect in the daily conduct of returning pilgrims.
In being just, you have to treat people the way the Prophet ﷺ treated people during his time. When he said, Atani al-Jibril, Jibril came to me. Wakana yusini, he went ahead to warn me. He was wasiyah. That is, there is difference between al-wahi wal-wasiyah. Wasiyah is very strong. Wa awsani bis-salati wa zakah. When wasiyah comes in, wasiyah is very, very strong than wahi. He said he was warning me against on the issue of my neighbors. He didn't say Muslims, they are Christians, they are this. He said neighbor. Neighbor is always a neighbor. You see, Al-Jari, wallah, he thought as if he was going to say he will also inherit you.
Another impact of Hajj on the everyday lives of the returning pilgrims is to intensify the worshipping of Allah.
Now we have finished from Hajj. That is where the true ibadah comes in, the continuity in the worship of Allah. Every month has its own benefit. Every month has its own benefit. And that is how it is. We have finished from Hajj now. Everyone will go back home like a newborn baby, inshallah. Is it possible for you to come back for the next year to still seek for Allah's blessings and Allah's forgiveness? It might not. You might not be able to come next year.
The Islamic scholar says Muslims must be humble in whatever they do.
Because if you have reflect back the stages of Hajj from Manasik, to Mecca, from Mecca, when you enter Mecca, from Mina to this place, to Muzdalifah to Arafah. These are stages, and you see the thing is that everyone is equal. Here, nobody in the Hajj, nobody knows this one is this person, this one is this person. This is what Allah wants us to know, to learn, so that you will not look down on anybody. Muzdalifah, everyone were lying under the bridge. Is it not so? So when someone, if you go back home to Nigeria and someone say, look at this bridge, somebody who sleeps under the bridge, did he make any mistake? He's trying to let you recall that there was a time, even with your position, with your statute, you slept under the bridge.
Sheikh Suleiman Yusuf Njoku called on Muslims to be patient and focus on doing things that will benefit them in this world and the hereafter.
I appeal to you to respect instructions of your pilgrim officials because they are your guides and have been instructed on the needfuls. I beseech you to recall that this Hajj is a peculiar one because of the pandemic. As such, I hasten to advise you to abide strictly by all health regulations while in the kingdom and even after you return. Safeguard your valuables and do not carry along any prohibited item into Saudi Arabia as a sign of honor to the host country.
Alhamdulillah. Up next is goodwill messages from pilgrims. Let's hear them.
Ne Ramatu, ne Amina, me Sami kya mi dambo lafiya lauyina. To zami shi kwata to gimi shi ide shi bo lafiya lau gimi shi me ji tamani ngombo ke adabo lafiya na.
Mi hauna madujo an turai. Mi hauna kore am hajara ikeuta. Mi hauna sakira an koine iidi. Mi hauna yaya an jibo bang. Mi hauna falaka. Mi hauna bakuru.
Ina gaida mahaifiyana Halima, Hajiya Halima. Ina gaida yayana Alhaji Isa. Ina gaida yayana Alhaji Ali. Ina gaida ɗana Yakubu. Ina gaida matana Asama'u. Da ƴaƴana gaba daya ina mika gaisuwa fatan alheri.
Hope the messages were well received. Meanwhile, viewers seeking clarification or have questions to ask on any matter relating to Hajj or Umrah management and operations can do so through this program. Relevant officers will be contacted to respond appropriately. We also welcome your messages, comments, observations and questions through our mobile number and other social media platforms. Once again, Hajj Mabrur to all pilgrims, believing that their conduct after the Hajj reflects the lessons learned during their stay in the Holy Land. Ma'as-salam.
لبيك لا